Back here in Beaver Stadium this week, joined by head coach James Franklin. Coach, obviously an exciting weekend, but now that the non-conference schedule is complete, I'm curious, was there anything that you've kind of gone back to and you've been able to learn and take away heading into the Big Ten conference opener?
Well, I think we're playing really good complementary football, all three phases. Offense, we're explosive. We wanted to go into this season and start out stronger in the first halves, and I think we have done a good job of that. I think we can get better in our run game, especially the inside running game. Having man back, I think, will help with that. We got to get better on third down still. That's an area I still think we can improve. But overall, we're an explosive offense, and we're starting out stronger, so that's a positive. Defensively, obviously, 2 shutouts in 3 games is really good, and I think that's the strength of our defense, is creating turnovers and keeping people out of the end zone. We're giving up some yards, but at the end of the day, this game's about points, and we're able to keep people out of the end zone and limit points as much as we possibly can. So I'm pleased with how our defense is playing overall. On special teams, I think that's probably the story of the young season so far. I think you look at our drive start average compared to the people we're playing, and so drive start differential has been a dramatic advantage for us. Our coverage units have just been fantastic. We're more explosive now with Saquon as a possible kick returner and DeAndre as a punt returner. So we're able to, in all 3 phases, bring value and bring impact to the game. So that's good to see. And when you're able to do that in all 3 phases, you can be difficult to deal with.
You mentioned defensively keeping people out of the end zone. What's been the key to kind of this new reloaded defense, and especially, only giving up 1 touchdown across 3 games? How do you kind of, defend the red zone so well?
Well, I think it's a couple things. I think we're a senior-laden team. We got a bunch of older guys that have played a lot of football for us. We got some young players that are growing up and developing fast. We're getting our hands on more balls, and we're creating more turnovers, which always helps you. And then I think our coaches are doing a really good job of adjusting and putting our guys in position to make plays. So, the field, as we all know, the field, shortens when you get in the red zone. You're limited in the type of plays that you can run on offense. Defenses know that. And we've done a great job of getting off the field on third down and putting people in position that they have to go for it on fourth down to get in the end zone or kick a field goal. So, I think we're just playing really good, sound defensive football, and we're just going to have to continue to do that. It's going to be important for us throughout the year.
And then offensively, Penn State really being able to maximize getting out to a strong start. But I'm curious, when it comes to Big Ten play, how crucial is that strong start? And then how does that kind of relate to being able to carry that momentum through all 4 quarters?
Well, as you know, for us, we have a standard, and that standard doesn't change whether it's a conference game or non-conference game. So we just approach it that way, and I think, being able to be balanced like we've been, we're able to throw for some yards, we're able to run for some yards, we're able to get Saquon the ball a lot of different ways. We have a lot of different weapons at the wide receiver and tight end position. And we have an offensive line that continues to get better year by year and game by game. So, we're going to approach this the same way we've approached the first couple games. This game is the most important game on the schedule because it's the next one. Akron was a really important, win for us, and then obviously Pitt, and then, last week Georgia State. So, our goal is to be 1-0 this week and focus on our preparation and focus on our approach.
And then speaking of this week, first trip to Iowa since 2012. Is it different, or do you have to make any changes knowing that, this kind of environment is unfamiliar to the guys on this team?
Yeah, it's unfamiliar for me. This will be my first time there. We're going to do a lot of different things to educate our players. I've spent a lot of time asking questions and watching film. A couple things. We're going to show them a clip today. Their sideline is very tight. Their fans will be right on top of us, and we just have to understand what that's going to be like. So I'm going to show them some film of that today. Obviously the pink locker room. It's one of the cooler. It's probably one of the cooler kind of traditions in college football from a historical perspective. I'm going to approach it. I'm not going to make it a big deal with our guys, but I'm going to approach it as a wonderful gesture on the University of Iowa that, everybody knows our original school colors are pink and black. So the fact that they painted their locker room as a wonderful gesture to welcome us to Iowa is really nice. So that's how we'll approach that. And then obviously having all their music, their bands, their the music that they play in their stadium, we'll replicate that as much as we possibly can at practice every single day to give our guys the best opportunity to feel confident and comfortable going into their venue.
And then on the field, when you think about Iowa, obviously a veteran, talented offensive line, what types of things have you seen that they're able to create on film, and how is Penn State going to need to play to be able to be successful against their offensive line?
Well, they're a big, strong, physical unit. They've had one of the better O-lines in the country, fairly consistently over the last, probably 15 years since Coach has been there. His background is offensive line, one of the more respected offensive line coaches in the country, and his time in the NFL as well. So, obviously, we're able to create some depth on our D-line and rotate guys. I think that's going to be helpful. We're a veteran in the core of our defense in terms of our D tackles and our Mike linebacker. That's going to be really, really important for us. And then we got to make sure that we match up on the edge. They're a team where they're gonna run to the bubble with the inside zone. And if they feel like they can get leverage on you, then they're gonna run the stretch play. And they run it over and over again. Last year we had some success in defending it. I know they take a lot of pride in running the ball, and I know that's going to be a major emphasis for them all week long, and obviously on Saturday.
And when you think about behind their offensive line, a new quarterback and first-year starter, Nate Stanley, what do you see from him on film that's impressive?
Well, he's got a big, strong arm. He's obviously a big physical guy. He's playing behind one of the better O-lines in the country. He's got one of the better running backs in the country. Wadley has put up a bunch of yards and a bunch of explosive plays and big plays. And he's managing the offense really well. And then, what they're able to do, because the running game is so strong, is play action pass, which creates some advantageous throwing situations. And he's got a strong enough arm to get the ball down the field to get some of those chunk plays.
And then thinking about their defense, what do you see and the staff see kind of identified as their strengths, and maybe specifically along their defensive line as well?
Yeah, I think it's up front. I think it's their linebacker Jewel, as well as their defensive line. They are big, they're strong, they're veteran, they're physical. They take a lot of pride in stopping the run. Obviously, we were able to make it a space game last year, and we want to try to do that again. But it's going to be a challenge. Again, the other issue you have is when you go on the road, you combine a really good defense with having to deal with the crowd noise affecting you on offense. That's going to be a challenge for us.
Well, we look forward to catching up with you in Iowa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.